Good morning. This is the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Weather Briefing for Friday, December 12th. We will continue these briefings Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays through next week, and then we'll be taking a break for the holiday season and resuming in early to mid-January. Looking at Great Basin prescribed fire activity, you see a lot of burn projects in the purple scattered across parts of the Arizona Strip, southern, central, and even parts of northern Utah, and a few across Nevada and even up in northern Wyoming. Projects have ceased, it seems, across most of the central Idaho mountains as there's been some more wintry and snowy weather there over the past couple of weeks. Observed precipitation over the past 14 days. A big difference from up north where there's quite a bit of precipitation. See these yellows here, anywhere from a ½ inch to an 1.5 inches of liquid equivalent precipitation. A lot of this was maybe 10 to 15 inches of snow in the mountains. But once you get further south, little to no precipitation, and it shows on the percent of normal, bone dry across much of southern central Nevada, as well as the Arizona Strip and much of the southern half of Utah. And that's where conditions are still dry enough to have some burning activity going on and being successful. The eddy or the flash drought index shows that over the past 5 weeks, things have been very dry across a lot of these southern and central areas. Our snowpack is reflective of what's going on. Below normal across many areas. Closer to normal, or at least somewhat better, like 65% up in the central Idaho mountains, but the Tahoe region looking at 20, 30%. Now, snow cover on the map, some of this is freshly fallen, maybe within several days ago or a week ago in the higher terrain of Utah, but you can see how little across the higher terrain of Nevada and even the Wasatch, still well below normal. You go up into the higher terrain of the Idaho mountains, and you can see there's roughly maybe 12 to 25 inches of snow up there, maybe a little bit more across the western Wyoming higher elevations. But by and large, you have to go almost up into British Columbia to see where the storm track has really been pulling in, as well as northern Washington state, where there's been lots of flooding in Seattle. But you go from Portland southwards, amazing that the Cascades of Oregon at this point in mid-December have no perceptible snow. Now looking at some of their fuels, and let's look at the Ruby Mountain area, and you can see that on the ERC, we are near record dry levels for this time of year, near the red line. You can see this little circle showing where current ERCs are, and down in the Arizona Strip in southern Utah, also approaching record dry levels. Now, we're not at critical midsummer levels, but record dry for this time of year. So in these areas, again, burning activity, if you're going to do a burn, it is definitely dry enough to burn. There's no question about that. And there's the reason. High pressure, big high pressure, continues to build in across the region. A dry air mass in this tannish to red shade. You can see the main moisture plume pushing well up into British Columbia and skirting parts of eastern Montana into the Dakotas. Poor air quality under this high pressure, areas in red so to purple, so hazy conditions. You don't get your normal 75 miles of visibility. It might be only 7 or 10 miles, so that's going to be an issue. And relative humidity, pretty dry, near 20 to 30% in southern areas, even 13% here in parts of Nevada, and maybe 30 to 40% further up north. Winds overall fairly light. Transport winds light also. A bit gustier up in the north, but we don't have any burn projects ongoing there. Mixing heights not that good at all, just a couple of 100 feet above ground level in many areas. High pressure ridge centers over us tomorrow, so no change in the weather. High pressure, clear skies overall, but that hazy condition will continue with poor air quality, poor ventilation. Again, light surface winds in most areas. See the humidity quite dry. Some areas 9%, 18% across parts of Nevada, upper teens to low 20s in the south, a little bit higher further north. Transport winds, again, nothing much to speak of under high pressure. Mixing heights, pretty poor, very close to the ground in a lot of areas. Now, on Sunday, the high pressure ridge that was over the Great Basin starts shifting eastwards over Colorado and going towards eastern Montana. So we will start to see gradual improvement from west-east, but it'll be slow. Still poor air quality. Winds, maybe some breezy winds over southwest Idaho from the southwest starting up as there's a front slowly approaching the Pacific Northwest coast. Relative humidity in the mid to upper teens across many parts of southern and central Nevada, 30 to 40% further north. Transport winds, you see some highlighted areas here, maybe 20 to 35 miles an hour, far northwest Nevada, far southwest Idaho, otherwise not that significant yet. Mixing heights starting to improve a little bit across eastern California. That'll be a sign of things to come. And then overall, we're looking at dry conditions days 1 through 3. And then on Monday, we see a pretty strong cold front starting to approach the area. There'll be clouds and moisture. Air quality is still kind of poor because of the cloud cover, but that'll start improving. We see some areas of white here in the dispersion area, some improving dispersion over parts of western and northern Nevada as a strong cold front starts barreling down into the Pacific Northwest, into Idaho and Wyoming, starting to affect maybe northern Utah. We'll see. The front does push through Utah and Nevada on Wednesday, and look at this on the right. Ventilation goes white. We haven't seen a vast area of white like this in a long time. That's excellent overall dispersion, both vertically and horizontally. Where skies are clear, it'll be that deep blue sky. You'll see 75 miles plus visibility. You also may see some light to locally moderate precipitation for a brief period of time under this front. And then Thursday, that front blows through, but you see the tight packing of these height lines, strong upper level winds, good dispersion, no high pressure in sight, deeper low pressure dropping out of the Gulf of Alaska, and this could bring some stormy weather by the end of next week into next weekend. Predictions for days 4 and day 5 precipitation, just some light to locally moderate amounts in the far north, a few inches of snow possible there. And again, maybe skirting parts of northern Utah and far northern Nevada and the Sierra a little bit, days 6 and 7, but the heaviest precipitation, maybe 6 to 12 inches of snow. Wyoming and Idaho mountains, day 7 precip total, so eventually they'll pick up some more snow and precip up in the north, but we need it in the south, and we don't have any expectation of it in the next 7 days. But 8 to 14 day outlook, I would pay less attention to this temperature above normal. It's calculated in a variety of ways, but what I think is more telling is the precipitation probabilities of above normal, not just in our northern areas where there's a high likelihood of it, but even down into our central and southern areas. Wet weather is expected to return significantly for the week of the 19th to the 25th. That concludes our briefing. We'll be back Monday with further updates. Have a great day and have a great weekend.